What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Got the gang on here.
Good.
What's up?
What's up, Michael? Saw some people hanging out beforehand. Armand, the usual characters. What's up, guys? So I think we're trying to do this every week, so to say, right? Money Mondays, boys.
We have Miles and I have been running. I think this is week
I
three.
think we're trying to do this every week, so to say, right? Money Mondays, boys.
We have Miles and I have been. It's always Miles. If there's ever a question, it's always Miles.
No, because I need the link to add the cord.
Sure.
And
yeah.
I just leave it up. Yeah.
But yeah, for those of you guys on the replay, every Monday at this time, 4 p.m. Central, we'll probably be live. So you guys can come back, come hang out, ask some questions.
Rodriguez, a rare showing of Rodriguez.
Ooh, what up,
going
Rodriguez?
on, man?
P-Dubs.
RP Giants.
RP Giants. You might get a few comments with the
Oh yeah.
with the art behind you, bro.
Oh yeah. It's all good. When life goes on, we're still making money.
Yep.
So
Let us.
Looks like Miles, you just roll out of bed.
No, I was just
Just hooping.
Yeah, swim maxing. I worked out and then sun maxed and then swam a little bit.
Bad.
There you go. That's a vibe.
Anyone else
hit the,
echoing dad?
I don't think so.
It was a second ago, but not anymore.
Yeah, for a second.
I'm gonna raise my.
I gotta hit the range after stream tonight. Gotta get my my son in for the day.
That's a vibe.
I just came back from it.
There you go.
You should post videos on Twitter of the swing.
Bro, I started golfing like 3 months ago. You gotta give me a second. Yeah.
I'm trash also. You don't want to see my swing.
we can go, Corey, and we can try to shoot below like 130.
Honestly, 130 would be a really good day for me.
That's funny.
Really? Billy's actually really good, I think.
Yeah, Billy's an athlete. Okay.
You got 8K, don't know what to do. That's a good startup. Yeah. So set aside like $1,000 and like experiment, see how it goes, and then add more fuel to the fire after you're done making like the easy mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, especially this time of year, there's so much opportunity, there's so much upside in leveraging some of the retail stores depending on your location, right? So look if there's any Nike outlets, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Burlington Coat Factory, and just scan, right? Download Seller Amp, and just scan away. You can pretty feasibly turn that 8 to 9.5, 10 in probably the next 45 days, and then just iterate, right? That'll give you some exposure in terms of what the data is looking like, what to look for, what to avoid, what brands maybe are doing well, what brands are not. Take all of that experience share and then start to slowly shift, I would say, into more online purchases, right? Same stores, but just direct that attention to online and then just continue to iterate, continue to compound, and continue to grow from there.
For sure. Questions about VAs. You allow them to make purchases. My VAs do not make purchases. They do pretty much everything else, though. Corey, your VAs make purchases for you, though, right?
Yeah. So my head, I guess my head of operations, she does have the authority to pull the trigger on POs up to, I think, 3K. And that's typically on replens. If it's a new purchase, like a product we're buying for the first time that hasn't been proven yet, typically she'll run that by me. If it's like a few $100, like 1,000 or 2, then she will pull the trigger.
Sure. Yeah, we went American for the buyer, but both works for sure.
Belated. Appreciate it, family.
Oh, I didn't wish you an official happy birthday, Miles. I texted you. I was like, "Is it your birthday?" And then then I quickly realized it was. I should have followed it up with a happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
He's old now. He's officially in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the only one not, to be fair.
Peabody Benz is pushing late 20s.
Just slow your roll. I'm turning 20. What am I turning?
And the more sun you get, it reverses your aging too.
Bro, the skin's looking young, dude. Look at this.
All that Ironman training, bro.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, the Ironman training.
You're probably like the best shape of your life right now.
Oh, yeah, big time. Easily. Yeah. What am I?
Somebody asked,
27, I think, 26, something like that. I think I'm turning 27.
There you go.
Somebody asked, where do you hire a VA? So my favorite place to hire VAs is onlinejobs.ph. You'll need to do your own job posting, your own interviewing, really all your own vetting and manage, or I guess vetting and hiring there. If you want one that is pre-trained, there's services like freeup.com that they pre-train e-commerce specific VAs. I personally had the best luck with onlinejobs.ph.
Fast Track as well. Fast Track has a service similar.
It's
Mhm.
just nice when you can really teach them from the ground up, like your style of sourcing. I think makes a ton of sense.
Especially with sourcing, it makes a lot more sense to hire from ground up.
Well, and that kind of goes off
Yeah.
my presentation from AMZ United. So I personally like to avoid hiring any VAs that have previous Amazon experience because a lot of them come with preconceived notions. A lot of them think they know the way to do things. And when you try to teach them your way, they're just not receptive or they're just kind of stuck in their own old ways. So I personally prefer VAs that have no Amazon experience at all.
Are you just looking to find smart people and then just
Yes.
plug them in?
Good attitude and coachability. That's all I care about.
I
And,
think
and of course, a high vertical, right? You're looking for that vertical.
blood
They
type.
got what's the guy that you got a six pack? That
Yeah, I think with wholesale, it's a lot more systematizable though. With OA, there's like so much specific nuance. Like this website, the product's name is incorrect, but it actually works.
right.
It says the coupon doesn't work, but the coupon actually works.
Oh, what's up, Joe? Joe's in here. Joe
What
Seville.
up, Joe? The
That's the
man.
dog.
Damn, they're attacking my boy G Body about the Cowboys.
They are. They are. Do
Nope.
you get paid from Amazon daily? Yeah. After you sell for a while, you get paid for the sales you did 2 weeks ago every day.
What is the best site to get Ungate and Adidas? When I try to use Kohl's for Nike, they send me 4 to 5 different packages. Actually, it doesn't matter, man. Just you're gonna use the email, right? That goes for any ungating stuff. Like just use the email from a big website, and they'll approve you. Yeah, we
Should
got
we go with FBA or FBM? Depends on the product. So especially like with back to school and Christmas and all that, it's gonna be a bunch of opportunity for FBM. But yeah, just check like the buy box rotation. Make sure you're actually getting sales on FBM products.
Yeah, and as we get closer and closer to Christmas, it's going to be more and more FBM friendly. So it's really nice for a lot of you guys to be able to learn quick and do that too. So if you're seeing like other people FBMing, you'll be good to go.
And one more point about that. So I don't know if you guys saw an email that went around from Amazon within the last week or two. They actually explicitly said that they're going to be prioritizing shipping products to customers as opposed to prioritizing receiving FBA shipments in their fulfillment centers. So that tells me that the closer we get to Christmas, if you're on a listing and you have an FBM offer, even if you're priced a little higher than maybe an FBA offer, I bet you're going to get the buy box a lot more often. You're going to make more sales at higher prices FBM the closer we get to Christmas.
Not only that, the FC transfer time, the receiving time, all that's going to slow down. I mean, it happens every year, right? So, I mean, that throws off a lot of your potential calculations. Maybe you're trying to take advantage of a specific increased velocity time threshold. It just makes a lot of that more convoluted. What job would an Amazon VA lead job title be on the website?
You're overthinking it. You don't need to worry about the title for the.
Oh, like the job title? Yeah, so if you're hiring, for example, like a product sourcing employee for OA, I would just literally the job title or the job posting would say like product sourcing team member, Amazon online arbitrage business. It really is not a big deal.
Yeah, it'll make it look like a YouTube title or like a blog article. You're going for as many keywords as possible. Beyond that, it doesn't matter.
Regardless, if you put Amazon anywhere in the title, you will get 300 applications. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Overnight. Do you guys ever create your own listings for OA? How difficult is it to create your own listings? So a lot of that is a lot more complex because you're bringing the demand to a specific product, right? What we're really good at with OA and wholesale is just simply supplying the supply to a product that already has built-in demand, right? We can leverage the data about how that product has been operating in an existing market over the past couple of years and use that along with all the other kind of market indications that we can leverage with Salary and Keep and all those sorts of things to make educated decisions. Problem comes, right, when we start to make guesses in terms of a potential listing and how it'll fare in an open market. It makes it a lot more complicated. That's more private label-ish, which none of us really have any experience with.
Ooh.
Yeah, I interviewed somebody like just now. The video will be up on Thursday. She makes a bunch of bundles OA. She's crushing it.
Yes, Brett, precisely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is actually a pretty
funny.
interesting question. So you can check the buy box statistics on Keepa to see if that's the case. I kind of wouldn't worry about it if it was through the buy box. I believe it's 9 out of 10 sales are through the buy box, right?
And I would imagine most of that, the 10% is just suppressed buy boxes. Like pretty much everything's going through buy box if it has one.
occasional low price, the like into the
I'll
person.
also see, I don't know if you guys see this, but I'll see people potentially buy from me over Amazon on super high volume listings. I think they just don't want to buy from Amazon or something like that. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but you'll see that every now and then.
Well, you
if
also
that-
probably priced 10%, 15% lower than Amazon.
Well, it was like double. Like I've seen it before where they just like choose a third party seller because they want to, which is it's like super high volume.
Love. That's love. They may
Yeah,
be
it
a
is
seller.
love.
They'd be
Super,
like,
super
"Yeah,
rare, obviously.
let me
But
show some love."
yeah.
So how do you guys feel about?
I mean, you guys got to think on stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh,
you just use your head.
if they're showing you a Lambo, they probably don't have your best intent in mind. It's a good general rule for the most part.
How much different products do you recommend selling to be successful, or at least to make 30, 40K? So again, it's so relative, right? There's no black and white threshold because every product is different, right? Some products are going to net you maybe a couple thousand a month. Some may net you a couple hundred, right? That's just kind of the nature of the business. Ultimately, a really constant common denominator is going to be how much you're spending on those quality products. That's going to be the main input that drives all the outputs that you want, right? Profit, sales, all those good things. That all comes from that single factor, the single input, which is going to be spending money on all the different products that make the business go around.
Yeah, and if you're asking that question, you're definitely a new seller too. So don't focus on big profit numbers. Focus on getting good at the scale. That's what's going to create the numbers down the line.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this question. So somebody said, yeah, and I'll answer that one. Okay, I guess I'll answer that first. So any advice for those who can't have an FBA dedicated LinkedIn as it's their side hustle alongside a professional job? So that's going to make it a little more difficult to reach out to suppliers via LinkedIn. If your LinkedIn presence is dedicated to your full-time job as opposed to your Amazon business, I probably would just avoid LinkedIn as an outreach channel. You can still, I mean, I never used LinkedIn for this business until like 4 months ago. And I've been doing this for almost 5 years. So it's perfectly feasible to open quality accounts just with emails and with cold calls.
I feel like you were one of the prime movers for kind of LinkedIn in this space. Like I feel like
Yeah,
you were one
I
of the
love
first people
LinkedIn.
talking about it.
Yeah, and it's been really, I mean, it's been awesome. I just either cross post my thread each day to LinkedIn, or I'll just write some other post for LinkedIn, and it's definitely starting to get some traction. I like the platform a lot.
Yeah,
That's
and the nice thing about that is you'd be doing cold outreach anyway, and it's not like these suppliers are getting many LinkedIn messages, and it's not like your employer's going to see you doing outreach on stuff.
Right.
So it's like complete. It's like if you were cold calling suppliers, your 9 to 5 is going to have no idea either, right there. And we need this back, so you got to get after it.
Okay, I'm going to answer one real quick. So this person said, can you list a product that is not on Amazon, but it's sold by a big name company? So if by that you mean like it's a big name product, a big name brand, but that particular product, that particular brand is not yet listed on Amazon, I think that's a huge opportunity to approach the brand directly and say, hey, there's people searching for your brand on Amazon and they can't find it. So they're either buying your competitor's product or they're just not buying a product at all. So that should give you the leverage you need to either get an exclusive with that brand right off the bat and just bring them to market on Amazon, or you can just create those listings from scratch and bring those products to market yourself.
The comments are just repeatedly lighting you up, Garrett.
No, they act like I own the Giants. I'm completely disassociated.
Yeah, when are the YouTube videos on that dropping, Garrett? I want to see the I bought the New York Giants YouTube video.
My Amazon FBA business bought me the New York Giants.
It's a good question. How do you see wholesale FBA? I think that the big differentiator with wholesale is it allows for so much additional competitive advantage, right? An additional moat around the products with the relationships you build with your sales reps, with the amount of money you have to spend inside those POs, right? It allows for a lot of different ways to differentiate yourself rather than just simply adding products to a cart, right? We're talking to sales reps, really building that relationship, and that relationship can garner an extra 5%, 10%, 15%, as well as the longevity of those relationships, right? There's no differentiating between me and Miles adding products to a cart, right? But if I'm buying from a sales rep, Miles is giving me a look. If I'm buying from a sales rep for 2 years and he just started 2 months ago, well, that relationship is qualitatively going to be different, which yields so much extra advantage rather than simply just, again, adding products to a cart with OA.
That's actually a good angle for a video, Corey. Talking to wholesalers, reaching out to wholesalers is just like reaching out to girls. and then talk about how you don't just try to take them home immediately, right? You got
that's a great point. I've made that analogy many times before. I think it's really a perfect analogy. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And because it applies to brands and distributors, but especially brands, because you're not going to cold call a brand and get an exclusive on the first conversation. You're going to have to court them, right? You're going to have to build rapport with them. You're going to have to
court
I mean, it's true. Like, it's
flowers,
gifts.
No, Miles,
dinner.
it's ice cream on the first one. Ice cream on the first one.
Yeah, people sleep on that. That's the hormone.
Ice cream on the first date.
Easy.
The only thing that's acceptable for a first date is ice cream.
Yeah. Can FBM win the My Box with a professional account? Absolutely. Yeah, Daniel, for sure. I like the way you're thinking, James. So you and the boys are obviously going to have to, play around a little bit, but I love the way you're thinking, getting resourceful like that. And I mean, completely, you might have to move the money around a little bit and everything, but I like the way you're thinking. And if you're thinking of being resourceful like that, good things are going to happen, man.
Yeah, group buys are awesome. You just need a couple people you can trust, and keep it profitable, all that.
And ideally, again, this is going to be a conversation you have with the sales rep, but best case is they can split that PO, even though it's, split that across each individual warehouse and issue invoices. But worst case, one seller just gets invoiced, and then that seller obviously invoices the rest of the guys.
That's such a good tweet.
Brett, that comment has me weak.
Yeah. Now that
ice cream on first date only for 10-15.
Multiple season.
That's actually so funny.
Does Converse send IP?
No.
Okay, so Profitable Side Hustles Authority. This is a good question. Yes, do you have more suppliers and distributors that ship directly to Amazon or ones that don't? So actually, at least for our business, most of ours do. We still have 2 3PLs that we use, but we really don't even send them that much business anymore. Our top 3 supplier, really our top 4 or 5 suppliers all ship directly to Amazon. And that's because of the fact that we've been working with all of them for, at least 2 years. And they didn't do it at first, but we built up rapport, we built up business with them. And one day we just asked and they said, yeah, no problem. We probably could have even asked earlier, but yeah, it was a non-issue once we did.
And again, that just furthers the point that I was talking about a couple minutes ago, right? The big differentiator between wholesale and OA is that relationship building that creates a competitive advantage across you and differentiates yourself to everyone else that's talking to that same seller or the same sales rep.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Jay, a new seller thinking about LTL stuff, man. I'm actually not super experienced with LTL stuff. I would kind of say as a newer seller, there's higher leverage stuff you could be working on. You guys have any thoughts on this?
So 49 times 6 is not that much. That's 294 pounds. So the minimum amount of the minimum poundage you can even choose LTL with is I think 250 pounds. And one 250 pound pallet is still going to be more expensive than shipping that SPD or just via UPS. So I would say if you are unsure whether you should send something LTL or SPD, just get a quote for each, right? See how much it's going to cost you LTL, see how much it's going to cost you SPD. And if it's close, I always say go SPD because it's going to check in quicker.
And LTL, there's so much added hassle with LTL. Right, you have to coordinate with the freight company that's going to come. Then you have to deal with if they miss the pickup. There's a lot of what's up?
Which they do. I've done a few LTL ships.
Amazon partnered is atrocious.
That's why you're better. Even if it's more expensive, you're better off going with the UPS route than LTL.
My first introduction to Garrett was the picture of the UPS truck pulling up and picking up the pallet in front of the crib.
Dude, I pissed off so many neighbors. This dude was driving through people's lawns to back into my drive and stuff. It was a nightmare.
Joe, exactly.
What's up?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying. So Joe made a good point, and it costs more typically if you need a lift gate, right? And if you're shipping out of your house, you'll need a lift gate because you don't have I imagine you don't have a forklift in your garage. And these are things that people don't even realize too. Like when I shipped my first pallet, I had no idea I needed a truck that had a lift gate. So I had to pay to send the truck back and then pay extra to send a box truck that had a lift gate.
Damn.
That was quick math, Corey. What was that, like 6 times 94 or something like that?
I have a calculator. I use a calculator. Are you kidding me? I can't do that.
You could have passed it on, Corey.
Use the calculator quick. Yeah.
Dude,
Corey, you could have just taken credit for that quick math there, bro.
I'll never take credit for anything math related.
He was in stealth mode.
Okay, here we go. Here's a good question. So let's go over the reasons experienced sellers say you should be doing 5 to 6 figures a month with OA and RA before even thinking to get into wholesale, minus the capital part. Well, if we take out the capital side of things, it kind of just depends on your skill set and your patience right there. And that wholesale will make you more money over 6 months or a year, but OA will make you way more money across a month or two right there. So I'd honestly say do both, but it takes a lot longer to get started. You're going to need a little bit more of the legal work and such.
You're going to make a lot more expensive mistakes starting too.
Mm-hmm. But I also think it's kind of unfair to eliminate the capital part because that plays such a big role in the differentiator.
And I always steer people towards retail arbitrage typically, but online arbitrage as well before getting into wholesale, just because I want people to learn the ropes. Like if you've never created a shipment, if you've never read a keep a graph, if you've never coordinated a shipment, all these things need to be done on a small scale because you're going to make mistakes, you're going to lose money. And it's better to make a $20, $30, $50 mistake than a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 mistake starting out.
And I mean, the iteration cycle is so much more expedited with OA, right? And that's not necessarily based on any skill or experience or anything, right? You can call 50 wholesale suppliers or brands over the next week and either get no responses or get 50 no's, right? And that's just kind of the nature of the volume game, right? And so you can go 2-3 weeks of really going hard with wholesale with nothing to show for it. With OA, though, if you go hard for a week, you'll probably have some orders to show for it. Those orders may have already been shipped. You may have even gotten the products, and they may even have sold already. Right. And so you can get a lot of feedback, positive or negative, so much quicker with OA, and you can speed up that iteration cycle. Right. You start compounding that experience, and that really becomes a powerful thing.
Yeah, shipping via UPS. The vast majority of stuff you guys do until you're doing LTL is UPS. And LTL, for anyone who's wondering, is like pallets, like big ass things of.
Yeah, you're shipping out trucks.
Yeah. Oh, Aisha had a good question. What do you prefer most, brands or distributors?
Asking me.
Yeah.
We can go around the horn.
Go for it, Corey.
So personally, like in a perfect world, I would only be working directly with the brand. That's not always going to be feasible. Some brands are just big, right? I'm not going to get a direct account with Procter & Gamble or Unilever or some of these really big companies. The reason I prefer to work directly with the brand is the risk of IP is basically zero because you're authorized. They know you're selling. You've got a direct relationship with them. So if for some reason they decided to cut off a bunch of Amazon sellers and limit it to a small handful or even 1 or 2, if you have a direct relationship with them, then at the very least, you're going to be able to put your name in the hat as one of those exclusive resellers. If you're buying through distribution or through a wholesaler and you don't have that relationship directly with the brand, then if they decide to make changes, you're going to be on the chopping block. So that's typically why I prefer to deal directly with brands.
Yeah, we've been finding more success with distributors lately, but your brand direct profits are higher, at least from what we've seen. Like we've had a easier success doing volume with distributors, but higher margins with brands. Because distributors are going to have a bunch of different brands you can carry, and you probably already know the types of products you want to sell when you're working with distributors of big brands as well. So there's a lot of that.
I mean, I prefer the brand route just because a lot of it is so much more qualified, right? You can front load a lot of the qualifications, so you know exactly what you're dealing with when you get into it, right? You approach a brand with a really good idea in terms of the sort of velocity those products have, sort of price points, sort of competition, all those things, right? Whether Amazon's in the picture or not. You have a really good indication of all those sorts of things before you even make one phone call, right? On the other hand, with the distribution side of things, you can open up 10 accounts and not really have any sort of idea in terms of the pricing, competition, even the products within those distribution companies. So I just have found that it's a little bit more difficult and convoluted to qualify different distribution companies in terms of the sort of pricing they have, sort of products they have, those sorts of things. Granted, of course, the conversion, the open rates with distribution companies is probably going to be a lot higher. But if you're just looking from like a quality of action perspective, brand's probably going to be a little bit more favorable in that regard.
That's what's up.
And I'll give you guys real quick just to finalize that point. So I'll give you guys our strategy as of recent. So we are primarily going brand direct. So if it's a small or mid-sized brand, they might not even sell through distribution. If it's a smaller, mid-sized, more niche brand, you're going to have a lot more luck going directly to the brand. If it's a big brand name like a Nestle, like a Head and Shoulders, like an Aussie, products like that, you're only really going to be able to get it through distribution. So these days, we haven't even really been reaching out to distributors. I'd rather reach out to the brand and have the brand tell me which distributor I need to reach out to. Yeah. You see what I mean? Because like I could reach out to 15 different distributors, and Garrett, like you said, maybe none of them are profitable, maybe only 1 or 2 are. but I'd much rather go to the brand. And if the brand shuts me down, ask for a reference to a distributor. And that way I know that that distributor is going to, one, they're going to carry the brand that I reached out to. And two, they're going to carry a lot of other brands just like it.
Well, the other thing is with the brand route, right? You can avoid the big brands that you have no chance with, right? There's so many niches, right? That you can pick a hobby where there's hundreds of brands that are small to medium size, right? Less than 500, 600,000 in revenue. Those filters exist with Smart Scout, right? And you can cater your approach to the really, really small, really refined and niche brands where there may be only 3, 4, 5 sellers on it, and they may only do, a couple 100,000 a month, right? Those opportunities are going to be a lot more fruitful than trying to reach out to a Nike or Under Armour equivalent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were Euro stepping in and out of audible right there, or audible audio, right? It's good now though. Okay. I was actually thinking about this one. Yeah, this is actually a really good question. It kind of depends on the year, and it's like, do we count an item that you bought one off and didn't end up rebuying in that, right? That's like kind of contributes to it. But of like stuff that I'm constantly trying to be in stock in, I'd say right in like the 15% range for that.
Yeah, 15-20%. I mean, it's pretty much 80-20.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just holds true with most things, right? Like, yeah. Most of the profit right now is like couple distributors, couple websites we're buying from over and over again. It's consistent stuff.
Denise, there's a ungating tutorial. Warner has a good one. I have a good one. You can watch both those. That'll get that done. Right there. Garrett, speak up. It sounded good.
Is it better now?
Okay,
Yeah.
It sounds great now. Yeah.
Did that mess up that last clip though?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It sounded like you were speaking on English for a second. That's how I would describe it. It was like cartoon English. Like,
Well, I'll see when the clip comes back. We'll see.
Corey, were you able to get the footage from Amazon United?
Not yet, but they're working on it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the fit kind of messes it up. But other than that,
I knew you were gonna say that.
Bro, the tucked in button up with the Jordans on.
Bro, I was trying to look presentable.
No, I mean, the Jordans were hard, but the button up from TJ Maxx that was across the street was a little bit of an.
All right, that's a little inaccurate. But
and tucked
say
in,
whatever you want.
and tucked in.
Everybody was tucked in.
Dude,
I knew I was gonna get chipped.
It's a little different environment, I imagine, AMD United.
Yeah.
Well, I also like knew that, dude. I knew it was gonna be more casual than that, but I'd rather be like not necessarily overdressed, but I'd rather like be more formal than less.
What was Scott wearing? That's the big indicator.
Well, he was wearing a blazer. Everybody was wearing like a blazer,
Yeah,
like button down.
Oh, okay. Well, it was his show though, so I guess that's.
The other guy, I can't remember his name. He was dripping too.
James, yeah.
No, that is a different guy. When you watch episode, facts.
Brett's got jokes, man.
I know he's been.
Where's this guy been all our 2 years?
Brett, have you been in stream before? Have we just missed you?
Maybe he used to have a burner or something, and he released himself.
Oh, something we haven't talked about, Corey. What warranted the change in profile pic?
Ooh.
Oh, I just had the same like AI generated one forever. When we were in Vegas, we shot a bunch of thumbnail photos and like a headshot was one of them. So I just figured it was more professional.
The AI was fire, man.
I said the same thing. Grant was like, dude, it sucks. Like, you need to change it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I can't please anybody. Yeah, says the guy making the shit thumbnail. He has no authority.
You should have kept it. You should go back.
Trying to travel internationally with a cat. Okay. Interesting.
Tough. In and out. Sweet.
Yeah.
Do you reply to letters from law firms? Pretty much never. Sometimes they'll be more severe and they'll be thick and they'll give you like specific deadlines. Like you can take those seriously. But if it's like the one pagers, then no. Start making a pile.
Yeah. Do any of you guys sell Vans? They're like, it's weird with Vans because they send a lot of letters, but like you look at every big shoe seller and they're all selling Vans right there. It's a little weird.
Converse is the same thing, right?
Huh?
Converse is owned by the same company, right?
No, Converse owned by Nike.
No, Converse is owned by Nike. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they actually care or not. For science months.
Well, that's the thing is I don't think they do though. Well, clearly not if dudes are selling stuff, and everything.
Well, that's it. So I used to, back in the outlet days, I used to pump North Face, and they sent me a couple letters.
Oh, well, the North
Face would come in.
Yeah.
It's owned by the same company, though. They're both owned by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I low-key think Champion is too. And Champion and Columbia are these old school 2021 IP complaint type brands that I just see dudes carrying all the time. Like, I think New Balance was one of them, too.
We rip Champion. I didn't even realize that was supposed to be an IP brand.
Oh, dude, I've told a lot of people not to sell that stuff, honestly, just because of back in the day. Okay, cool. Most recent purchase order amount from a distributor. Interesting. Mine was 20K back in June. That was actually the only one I've placed since then. Yeah.
Mine was 11,500 last Friday.
As well.
I think mine was around like 50K. About
Yeah, I knew it was
weeks ago.
coming. I knew it was coming. We put 13 in today, which is fun.
Yeah. North Face sells though. Yeah, all that stuff sells for sure.
As just like a personal brand, I love North Face. All their stuff is just so quality.
No, you gotta go Gonia, man. Come on. If we're talking one over the other.
I don't think I've ever owned any
For the
Patagonia.
culture. Jimmy, it's
Oh,
me,
what?
Jimmy, and then like someone else is the same one. I think someone even bought it from Twitter, like just
If a winning product is found, how much should be purchased? It depends on the item. Like if you don't know how to answer the question, you should just test it out. Like based on the volume, test anywhere between like 5 to 30 units, maybe 50 if it's a crazy fast seller, and then just base your volume on that.
Yeah, and the nice thing is once you've been doing it a couple months, you get a lot of good context around how much you should grab, right? And then it's like you kind of figure it out from there. Okay. As a fully beginner, I would say learn online arbitrage. The nice thing is retail arbitrage, you actually you don't really have to learn much. You kind of just got to scan a bunch of stuff right there. So with the fields of profit in the ears, go scan everything at Marshalls. And guys, seriously, if you got Marshalls and you're like, I promise there will be stuff that's good. I promise.
And the good thing is, usually when there's a Marshalls, there's a TJ Maxx like a couple miles down the road.
Mhm. Or usually in the same shopping center or Burlington.
Yeah, so you gotta do the whole.
Is Burlington still good? Or like do people do RA at Burlington?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think the big thing people complain about there is that Burlington stickers their prices over the UPCs, so it's annoying.
Oh, that sucks.
And
So like if you really know your brands and that kind of stuff, I bet there's a bunch of money to be made at Burlington because the newbies aren't able to scan the barcodes.
all their shoes are unboxed at Burlington, right?
A lot of the discount stores are like that.
Okay, no political talk. You're going in timeout. I actually think we haven't encountered an election year stream yet. I can imagine beefing in the comments like
Yeah, we're
put in timeout.
cutting all that out.
I agree. Doja, I agree. I'm a big North Face guy.
Okay. Never look at it. Never look at it.
Amazon suggestions are garbage, especially for pricing. Like I've been getting a lot of people asking questions like, "Hey, I got this email. It says my prices are too high." Ignore Amazon. They do not. The Amazon wants you to make sales. They don't want you to make profit. There's a big difference there, right?
Yeah.
So ignore their suggestions and make your own decisions.
Yeah, while we're on that one too, it's important to note, guys, if you're ever like changing, just while we're talking about like little intricacies of like kind of the back end, if you're ever going to change like your email, your credit card, always give Amazon a call prior and just let them know you're putting it in the system, just to avoid the potential 6-hour issue that could persist, just a temporary account shutdown or whatever.
Can you sell brand items that do not come with boxes? I mean, it depends on what it is. Shoes need a box, but I don't think really anything else. Just follow Amazon's guidelines in terms of what you need.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like probably not. Like if you're trying to rip like the, I don't know, like the cereal on the inside of a box, like that's where I'm going. Like
That's savage.
Yeah, you need to have the original packaging.
Back in the day, we used to rip the Owlets no box tops, but I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't recommend that to any of you guys. That's actually a very interesting question. Yeah, he's a humble. Yeah, we'll give him another year. He's still very new. It's crazy, man. You're only on like month 7 or whatever of having the personal brand. Oh, Corey, you with us?
Are we losing?
Yeah, my
Corey's
bad.
walking in somewhere.
Sorry, I was replying to Reezy's tweet.
Oh,
It was like the lights were on, but no one was home.
Yeah, my bad.
Thoughts on selling products on Amazon that are American based? Those can be fire. Like as long as you like check the ingredients and stuff like that. Sometimes you run into like stuff that isn't allowed, but honestly, if it's allowed in the US, it's probably allowed wherever else it made. We have like the worst standards. So just look at that kind of stuff and you should be fine. But yeah, importing, all that kind of stuff is fire.
So this is actually a really good question.
Consider the ethics of selling seed oils, though. Consider that.
Have a product on Amazon went out of stock. So a lot of people give this a lot of attention with like Lego specifically, where there may be 1 year where Amazon's in stock, 11 months go out of stock in December. I wouldn't use 1 year as a basis to make futuristic decisions. And I just wouldn't depend on that, right? There's so much lower hanging fruit with a lot of the more dependable information where you don't have to rely on Amazon going out of stock, right? Where you can just depend on steady data for the past 4 or 6 months that you probably should divert a lot of your attention towards, especially if you're just getting going, rather than hoping and praying that Amazon does something again that might have been just a glitch 1 year ago, right? Now, another scenario, right? If there's 3 or 4 straight years of a specific occurrence happening, well, that may be a little bit more of a foot to stand on. But just 1 year, that's too shallow for me personally.
Yeah, especially like you, Danny, you know enough where you like don't have to worry about that at all, man. Like no need to speculate. And that honestly, like the longer you've been around, the less of those risks you have to take too.
So I want to answer this person's question. So Catherine asked, any luck on food service distributors? So this is a good question, and I can speak from experience here because we spun our wheels for a long time reaching out to food service distributors. So don't waste your time there. And let me tell you exactly what a food service distributor is. It's different from a grocery distributor. So a food service distributor is a distributor that sells to restaurants or to cafeterias. So that just think about the types of products restaurants and cafeterias carry. They might carry brand name products, but they're going to be in 128 ounce packages, like gallons of ketchup, right? Just large containers, large quantities of the types of products that you would normally buy. So it's not like retail packaged goods, not the type of stuff you're necessarily going to be able to sell on Amazon, not the type of stuff people are buying on Amazon. Chad Cafeteria.
Yeah.
Do you need to have LLC? You don't need the LLC, but if you have personal assets that you want to protect, then it's a good idea. I didn't do it because I had like $2,000 to my name when I started, but you probably have more than that.
Ooh, this is an incredibly important question. So I kind of assume, Carlos, you mean like by Christmas time, basically, right there. So if you're under 100K a month, you shouldn't be FBAing stuff after December 1st because you don't have the bankroll and the expertise to rely on speculation. And anything you're buying, you should just be FBMing it the second that it arrives and then placing the replan order that night when it sells. But yeah, like December 1st to the 5th. Anyone have any different thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, especially as a newer seller, it's so powerful to speed up that feedback loop, right? If you're trying to use FBA, that's a 3-4 week turnaround time where you buy something, 3 weeks go by, it's finally selling. Now you know it's really good, and now it's probably out of stock. You know what I'm saying? You're wasting precious time when, especially now in November and December time is of the essence. Time is utmost, whatever I'm trying to say. It's important, right? Every single day, there's a lot of money to be made, right? And so we have to speed up that iteration as quickly as possible. Buy something, get it in 2 days, it sells. Well, now you know, especially if you're newer, now you know you can go deep on something because you have the validation of your own business data rather than speculation, right?
And so I'll add to that. You're going to make, if you're doing it right, you should make 80% of your Q4 sales should come between December 14th and the 21st. That 7-day week, that week leading up to Christmas, you should make the vast majority of your sales. And because the Q4 check-in times are significantly longer than the rest of the year, if you want a product to be at FBA checked in, available by Christmas, I would not even bother sending it after November 14th, right? So about 1 month before that week that you're going to do the most of your sales.
Yeah.
And even then, even that's kind of pushing it. I mean, if you really want to be safe, I say get everything in. Like last big shipment should go out November 1st.
Oh, all right. That's a hot take. I made you.
I mean, you should keep shipping, but I'm saying if you want to guarantee stuff's going to get there in time.
Fees and FC transfer and shit like that. Most people aren't though. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
But even so, even if it's not seasonal, it's going to sell in January, right? So I mean, there's no drop dead point where Amazon doesn't exist in January on January 1st.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah. To rephrase that, I wouldn't say stop shipping past that point. I'm saying if you want it guaranteed in stock available by that December 14th or 21st week, then I would get it sent out by November 1st at the latest. Absolutely never stop sending to FBA. You should be sending a shipment a day if you have to, the whole Q4, because really January should be your set. Well, aside from Q4, January should be your best month because
I think January is bigger than October, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
And because part of that is because so many people get Amazon gift cards for Christmas, right? Like they're going to spend the spending on Amazon does not slow. Well, it slows down, but not to as big of a degree, I think, as some people think in January.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of nuance on that stuff too, and that some people live really close. Like being in Pennsylvania, Garrett and I have always been really, really lucky. We ship to AVP when it gets there the next day. Like there's all types of nuance by that stuff. But the nice thing, guys, is that all of you, knowing what you know now, you can be fully prepared to FBM to the moon and legitimately not worry about any of that stuff. Be able to sell a lot more products with less risk, better cash flow, that kind of stuff. Categories for Q4 and Christmas: exactly what you sell now. Everything increases. The last thing you should do is go try and buy a bunch of toys that Amazon's in stock on. It won't go up.
Miles, serious question. With the amount of people that you talk about with FBM, do you tell them in the heat of Q4 to not use USPS first class?
Oh no, life's too short. Like if it's out on time, that like Amazon protects us.
Yeah, true.
I'm talking about 500 packages a day for 3 weeks in a row. And like I low key think there was one day I just didn't ship, so because I got so many complaints for December 17th.
Bro, USPS is so bad.
No, but that's the thing. It's like if you're protected if you ship on time with them.
Right.
Like we need the bag, man. We need every excuse to go make the bag. Like you're protected. Please just rip it, guys. Like you'll be fine.
Yeah, don't be trying to reinvent the wheel during December either. Asking about new categories, that kind of stuff. Like, run it out with whatever you're already doing well with.
That's an interesting question. What's the slowest month of the year? Again, so a lot of that is especially if you're early and you're growing. Yeah, every month should be your next best because of that growth is so severe. But once you've kind of had some experience, probably for me, I think it's like February, March. That's like the low period.
Yeah, and so if you can mitigate that by sourcing some like lawn and garden products, right, or some spring seasonal products. We used to have a really good brand direct account back in the day that their peak season was February, March, April. So like as Q4 was dying down, as most people's sales were slowing down, ours were starting to increase because that brand did really well during that season.
A good one.
Had any luck using a layered invoice from a group buy to beat an inauthentic complaint? So luckily we haven't got any IP or inauthentic complaints from any group buys that we've done. I think, so this is some insight that I got a couple of weeks ago talking to some other big wholesale sellers. So I was told that really regardless of which supplier the invoice comes from, if you submit it enough times and it looks like a legitimate invoice, Amazon will accept it. And the reason that I say that is because the guy that I talked to, he was talking about how he did a group buy with another large wholesale seller. He's an Amazon seller. He's not a distribution company. He generated an invoice from his own QuickBooks, to his friend that he sold the deal to. And his friend had to use the invoice to either, I don't remember if he had to get ungated or basically he had to submit the invoice. And Amazon accepted the invoice. And my friend that issued it was literally just another Amazon seller. So there's no like internal list of like approved sellers or authorized sellers in the eyes of Amazon. From as far as I understand, as long as the invoice is legitimate from a legitimate company and Amazon can at least find that company somewhere, then it should work for you.
Damn, there's nothing this guy Brett's every angle. Bang, banter here. Like, yes, absolutely there.
Are doing OA? You can do OA from those stores?
Oh, my bad. I assume you meant RA. Sierra.com is not bad, and I'm pretty sure Sierra owns all those companies.
Yeah, those companies like to order cancel, but their prices are good.
Any way to get your shipments to go to a different FC transfer now? FC said no.
So there was up until like a couple months ago. So like Shipment Maker Pro was a shipment making software where you could essentially choose your FC. So there was a kind of a workaround to be able to choose your FC. We did that for the longest time. We were choosing our FC, shipping to the same FC every time. Then Shipment Maker Pro became unreliable. So a tool called 9Yard kind of replicated that feature. And from what I understand, a friend of mine has a friend that just developed a new shipping software called Nemo Ship. I think it's NEMO ship.com, where supposedly you can use that software to choose your FC the same way you could with Shipment Maker Pro. I haven't used it. It's a brand new tool. So try it out and let us know if it works.
Damn, they have a 2-day free trial. That's very generous.
Nemo Ship.
You gotta figure that shit. You figure it out.
It's like a friend of my friend literally just like developed it one day because Shipment Maker Pro went down. So I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think you need to be worrying about Google Trends. It's way more better just to do like data focus, like reverse sourcing and stuff like that. Like
way more better.
it doesn't matter how quick an item sells. It's all just like, can you find it properly? Because like pretty much everything sells well. That's a big brand.
I think there's just so much value in starting with Amazon and letting it dictate where you're looking, right? Start with a couple fast moving products that are a surefire OA product, and let those sellers who are on that product kind of drive your searches, right? Start with the data and let that kind of facilitate your actions outward. You'll find brands you've never heard of that way. You'll find sites you've never heard of that way. You'll find new sellers that are smarter than you to learn from, right? There's a lot of resources and value in letting the Amazon data kind of dictate your action.
I know, it's just like, is Danny in there talking about cheeseburgers?
Yeah, well, he just presented it without context. I just like, I want
And his YouTube picture, he looks like he's like 17.
How much you're sourcing is reverse sourcing? At this point, not a ton, but at the start, it's all of it. Because you're reverse sourcing until you know how to go straight to the source. That's kind of the idea.
Do you have a bookkeeper on monthly? If so, when did you take one on? When it becomes, I mean, there's the way I think there's a lot of fees that come before bookkeeping, but again, it's not irrelevant. It's important, right, to keep your things organized. It's going to allow for a lot less headaches come March and April. I don't know if your business can afford the $100, a couple $100 a month. Then I mean, it makes sense for sure.
So when I interviewed my bookkeeper, he recommended, and he's like e-commerce specific. He only works with e-commerce sellers. He recommended a threshold of being around like 30K a month. Once you're doing about 30K a month on Amazon, it makes sense to get a bookkeeper. I mean, but before that, yeah, revenue. Before that threshold, you should at least be using a tool like Sellerboard, right? To at least have a handle on your gross profit. And then be tracking your operating expenses in like a Google Sheet or just in some way, right? So that when you get past that point, it'll be a relatively easy handoff.
Yeah. I mean, inventory, QuickBooks, or inventory or Sellerboard alone aren't going to be your bookkeeping software. You're going to need.
No, people think that it's like a bookkeeping software. It's not.
Damn, Samuel, you must be new here, my friend. It's not. Don't worry. Bro's, he's coming at me too. Oh, he's from my stream. Okay, that's fine. If you're in my stream, yeah, you can come at me on that.
When you suggest hiring a reimbursement team. So the cool thing about that is it's free to use, right? They are essentially acting on your behalf, looking and keeping track of all your shipments and doing all the, crossing the T's and dotting your I's to make sure everything lines up. And then when it doesn't, they file the reports on your behalf. So it's a good service to use regardless of what scale you're at, because they're just going to find money that you likely wouldn't. And they just take a portion of what they find.
Yep. And I would assume, depending on where you wash, you can go below. You get extra bonuses.
One of ours, yeah.
Yep.
Depending on who looks the best, whose skin looks the cleanest.
I get in the sun max every month. Just wait.
What's on the left part of your face? No, the other left. What is that? No, up there at the top.
It's a hair, bro. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looked like a bruise. I thought you got an elbow in the face.
Shark Boy.
You got 6K in reimbursements. There you go. You call him Shark Boy. Do you think OA is good in Canada? If I were in Canada, I would probably just keep it all in the US. But there's plenty of good stuff in Canada. There's just more people, more stuff to sell.
Link whoever's from Canada. Link with Patty's World FBA on Twitter. He's a good dude.
Yo,
oh my god. He was driving the tractor in the roadmap call. Was
he really?
Yeah, Jimmy sent me a picture. He's driving the tractor in the roadmap call. Yeah,
that's honest. That's epic.
Go to OA website. So that would honestly be kind of useless to tell you, just because like you got to go through a lot of. You'd have to like if I told you a website, you wouldn't be able to find stuff that was good on there because you wouldn't know the discounts and the nuances to it, right? You wouldn't know the purchasing cadence for it. So you figure that stuff out. Yeah, someone's got to meme that and screenshot it and be like Amazon Twitter.
Every time.
Like, buy Box Bandits or Corey or something like that. That bull's a unit right there. Yeah, he's
that boy's a big boy.
He's way too big to be playing dead like that.
He's almost a year. His birthday's in like 2 days.
What, bro's only a year old?
Yeah.
Wow.
He is
70
out
pounds.
light, bro.
Yeah, he's playing dead.
You're gonna have a whole lot of dog on your hands.
Yeah, he is a dog. I'm
That's
throwing him under the love sack.
What was the keeper like when you bought him? Wait. All right, someone's got to clip that too.
Did you just
threw that boy?
Yeah, onto the beanbag.
Oh, okay.
Someone go back to the recording and clip that and post it on Twitter.
That was just like laying there. It's just
Oh.
like dead body.
Yeah, clip that and put it on Twitter, and that's easy. That's easy right there.
That's an easy 10K views, 15K views.
Bag maxing. The reaction was good too.
'Cause I like we all like jumped back.
That's the clip.
Oh, I didn't realize that I was like still on camera when I did that.
Oh, you were.
Because the beanbag's also out of frame, so it looked like you just like, goodbye.
He's just like laying on the beanbag now, looking up at me. He's like still asleep.
Someone
Yeah, cancel Corey. Cancel Corey.
Someone
Yeah, I'm
Corey
getting
shows up on CNN tomorrow.
Yeah.
Amazon influencer abuses dog on screen.
Oh, gee.
Someone's got to clip that and put the video game on her and have it be like the
That one didn't land, Miles. It's all good though.
Yeah, no, with the video game. Yeah, yeah. You're
You're
editing-
in the UK, how do you start? Yeah, you just need a prep center if you're trying to do. You already know that, but yeah, I have a video on prep centers, Mohammed. If you want to go watch that, it might give you more detail, like how to find one, all that kind of stuff.
Chad video on prep centers. Cool. So what other questions you guys have? We got 157 in here. It's absolutely awesome. Right there.
Who we got tonight? Jets or Bills? In the chat, let us know.
Oh,
who we got.
Jets. Gary V. Come on, Jets.
Gotta be
All
Jets,
day.
right?
All day. Gotta be.
Is
Jets.
he going to be there? I think it's in the year.
I would assume he would be.
He'll be causing a ruckus probably.
So somebody said, I want to read a good book for selling on Amazon. So there's really no like Amazon specific books out there, at least not as far as I know. But one that would be really helpful for you would probably be Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. That one was really important for my business. We pretty much set up our business based on that framework, at least financially. And so it'll just help. Basically, it assigns every dollar that you make a home. Think of it that way. So every dollar goes towards profit. It goes towards taxes, operating expenses, inventory, etc.
Lambo.
And just Lambo, wholesale challenge.
Oh, wait, Corey, can you text that? Put that thumbnail in the chat. That's actually kind of good.
Yeah, that is a fire. That's a Mansour original.
Oh, the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Everyone recommend a book, just like a general business or whatever. I'll go. The Slight Edge is very good.
That is a good book.
I like Lean Startup as a non-traditional recommendation.
It's a good one too. Is
Anything?
Profit First mine?
Now give us a different one. But obviously that's good too.
Traction by Gino Wickman for sure.
I left that one on an airplane and then never rebought it. I was like,
Oh, you
I
gotta
read
read that.
30 pages on the plane and then put it away and left it in the pocket.
It's really good. Oh,
Is it?
yeah. Somebody said "Crush It" by Gary Vee. So if you're trying to get into personal branding and just the social media space, that's a really good one for that. You're really just like for the mindset behind it.
The
Our
single
work week is good too.
Yeah, 4 hour work weeks. Yeah, that like building a digital presence gives you like an insane amount of leverage, and it makes meeting people easier. It makes learning stuff easier. It makes
And you don't have to do what we do either. Like literally like 2 times a week, you just post what you're up to and people are going to find you and you're going to find like-minded people.
because like no one's putting in any effort to it like whatsoever.
No.
Like zero. We're not even telling you like you can take 13 seconds and toss up a little bars picture with it semi-engaging caption right there. And I know your high school friends might find it, but I promise you it's not a problem.
Yeah, I just posted my very first reel on Instagram today. Like every single one of my followers is like friends from high school or college, and I got so many texts and DMs being like, the people like didn't even know what I did. They're like,
That's
because
hilarious.
Did you use your personal?
Is this
You
drop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's you're gonna unfortunately deal with a lot of that then. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Well,
Well,
hey! You're also 28 and already successful. Like when we started, there's not much different story. Yeah.
Right.
Much
Yeah,
different.
when we started ripping content, it was like 10K in the bank
Like
account. Like
people are like, what are you doing?
No, yeah, exactly.
You're selling books.
Like what?
I just got an internship at PwC.
Well, I feel like the wholesale model is just so much more easier to explain than buying books from Marshall.
Go to the thrift store. And
Yeah.
then got the library sale. No, but I try to go the day before, so the old ladies, I help them set up so I can scan the books earlier.
Yeah, it's people like, well, what are you talking about?
Road Less
Oh,
Stupid. I've never
Richest
heard of
Man
that
in
one.
Babylon.
Dude.
Richest Man in Babylon's a really good one. Somebody
Jill-
said.
I listened to I remember explicitly listening to that one on Audible, and the dude's voice reading it was so annoying.
Well, he's thousands of years old. So what do you expect?
I've got a
Uh,
list
Jill-
of them. See if I can find more.
Jill's a rock star. Jill's one of my coaches.
Bang.
How much do you trust the number bought in the past month? Quite literally 0. Do not look at it.
Yeah, it depends. I'm not really sure how transparent they are with that new data. It is interesting that they're showing it, but they're only showing on like really fast sellers too, which is interesting.
Well, it's a column on the Keepa variations on some stuff. Yeah.
I think he's talking about
It's the same thing, though.
the Amazon suggested ones.
Yeah.
Because okay, it's
Yeah.
the same number.
I believe so. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I
I feel
another
like
book. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I feel like it's probably a different number, but I have been curious. I feel like Amazon's probably sharing the right numbers, but it's probably not variation specific if I had to guess.
Yeah. Don't like either way. I would recommend not looking at it. You'll get way better data, way more long-term data from the Keepa chart.
Yeah, Heath knows what he's doing. He's doing good numbers.
And even still, like if they report 1,000 as opposed to 2,000, it's not really going to make a difference in
Well,
your
yeah,
initial
sure.
purchase.
Yeah. You get rich regardless.
So another really good book, and this is obviously not Amazon seller specific, but Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Really super tactical, like time management book. I read a bunch of them, and that's probably the best time management or / productivity book that I've read. And Dan's really sharp, and he
Have you
definitely
read
practices
any
what
of
he
Mike
preaches.
Michalowicz's other books? He has a couple other good ones.
Yeah, all of them. I think like the Pumpkin Plan,
Clockwork, I
the
think.
Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, Clockwork is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The names are weird, but
Yeah, the pattern interrupt on the thing, dude. This is awesome. So Stanley Stokes, one, I mean, my friend,
awesome.
like your personality has to be good with that name. Like I'm just 100% right there. But dude, 25K a month in rev with 3 brands is fantastic. What I think you actually had a big advantage with, Stanley, is you're probably seeing a lot of the same sellers on these listings you're on, or at least some commonality. So just look at what other stuff they're selling, and it's going to be down a similar rabbit trail.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a good shot you'll know how they're sourcing their stuff if you're doing the same brands as them.
Ooh, let's go, Tony. Damn, Tony, it feels like just a couple
Dang.
days ago you were saying you're getting started. That's awesome.
Bang. What are different ways to determine if a product is selling? SellerAmp is the obvious one. Hopefully everybody's got SellerAmp already. Free trial down below. And then Keepa is the other way. Back it up, but there's not kind of as clean a data, but just between those two, you're good.
Yeah.
Danny clipped that video of me throwing George. I'm just watching it back, and your reactions right when I throw him is hilarious. All of you like,
Wait, is that
Tweet it?
Twitter?
yeah, he just tweeted it.
So now that I think about it, I actually have a 50-page Google Doc on like everything you need to know to get started with online arbitrage. So I did link that. That's like not necessarily like a book, but if you want to like read and learn all the terms, everything like that, get kind of the basics, you can take a look at that. I just linked it. And then it's flipsformilesguide.com. It's free. Here's the chat. Was just stream hopping between you four. That's wait, yeah, let me pull it. I'll link it.
That clip is so good.
Wait, Corey, did you retweet it, Corey?
I quoted it.
Oh wait,
I just retweeted it.
profile. Yeah, your profile picture's fire. Like that is fire. That yeah. I like the AI.
Oh, thank you.
That's definitely an improvement. Yeah.
I like the AI one too. I feel like no matter what I do, people talk shit. So I can't win.
There's also there's 0 button downs in it, which is a good sign.
Right. Well, listen, button downs are not my thing. I literally bought that shirt from the outlet like 2
TJ
days
Maxx?
before. No,
Bro,
not TJ Maxx.
Warner was
a brand
stone cold when he threw that boy. Warner was unfazed.
I'm gonna be honest. I was tabbed out. I was working on something else.
A brand rocket polo would go so hard. Like the
I know.
bro, this has a 35% retweet rate right now. Like this might go viral. Like
Yeah, what if people actually take the time to watch it?
Just sign up for SellerAmp. Bang. About to find some products. Prep Center shipping to Charlotte. From Florida. Yeah, you'll get shipped to Florida.
Dude, this actually may end up somewhere.
Because he's just like chilling, and then it just like
Well, he
Drop
doesn't
him.
look like he's moving. He looks like he's like
I know.
that was the end of it. Oh, that's lit. Wait.
Yeah, how does this guy keep getting back in the chat talking about Trump and Biden?
Oh yeah, you're gone, Carl.
It's probably a bot, to be honest. It's the same comment.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
They've infiltrating the Amazon space too. Yeah, it's actually also not polarizing either.
No, it's just a bot. Like, yeah.
How do you see on Keepa? You look at the movement. So Tony, I have a really good Keepa straw I think you should watch, but it's all on like, is the price going down? No, it's probably selling. Is the competition going down? Yes. Okay, it's probably selling. Is the sales rank low? There's a whole bunch of answers right there. Yeah. So honestly, Trill, if you're doing 8 to 10K monthly and you only do 30 in December, it's probably like a major capital issue. Right there, like you should plan on doing way more than that, depending on capital availability. For December, that it sounds like it's a great idea for you to get a prep center involved now. I think just numbers wise. Okay, cool. So Garrett says he has to boogie, whatever that means.
Why throwing Garrett under the bus? It's an hour-long stream here, boys.
Yeah, wait, we did just hit the mark. So yeah,
I got a boogie. I think that's like a normal.
That's normal. Yeah, I'll back you up on that.
All right. Well, you're yeah, okay. You guys are from a different generation. Cool. Yeah. So everyone go follow everyone on socials right here. We got 5 Box Bandits. We got we got Corey Fields of Profit, your boy. Right there. Do you find FBM risky due to reviews that can't be removed by Amazon? Nah, squeeze the wealth, baby. Squeeze the wealth. Come on. Like our brain loves to look for reasons to not make money. Just squeeze it. It's sitting right there. Sitting right there. Just squeeze it. Right there. It's waiting for you. Right there. So yeah, everyone have a great night. Free training Wednesday night. And don't drop your dog. Be nice to it tonight, guys. Come on, you know better. Right there.
Awesome. Good hanging out with everybody.
See you guys.
Yeah, see you guys, man. Next Monday.